So in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 principal steps for moving well. These are principles, meaning that they're just how our body works. When you apply these to anything, an exercise, a physical therapy, or into just moving in everyday life, you will feel and function better. However, they require that you build muscle memory for this, or at least relearn the muscle memory for this. We're born with this. We're kind of hardwired to move this way, but we often forget it. So it takes a little bit of time and practice. So if you encounter pain or discomfort at all, then go back a step and work on the step where you can do this pain-free, or at least pain reducing or not pain increasing. And make sure you build the confidence for each step along the way before you start applying it to everyday life. So it's easy to start. You just start in your natural alignment. Your natural alignment is different than posture, where posture is often chest out, shoulders back, which actually takes us out of our natural alignment, makes the back overwork, makes the neck overwork, just too much work, and it's not helpful. So you can do this in standing or sitting. If you're standing or if you're sitting, you want to just find that place, or more allow your body to find the place where your bones hold you with ease and your muscles kind of do this little, it just feels like it's less work to hold you up. So standing or sitting, either way, but you're just letting your bones arrange until it feels like you're stacking blocks, like they're really sturdy. And you kind of feel this sense of just being held by your bones. And if you notice any discomfort, make little adjustments, especially through the position of your feet, your weight on your feet, the weight into your hips, your ribs, and then your shoulders and your head. Again, just like you're stacking blocks. This is not something that anybody could tell you you're in your natural alignment. Natural alignment is only what you feel inside. So only you know how to find your natural alignment. So just play around with that. And again, it sometimes takes a little while to undo the thoughts about good posture or bad posture. Just allow your body to find that way that it can hold you with ease. And just make those little adjustments until you get this sense like, yeah, that feels pretty easy. There you go. You have step 1. That's step 1. And again, you can do this in sitting, do it in standing. Practice it in both because you're going to need it in both. If you're sitting, you can provide a little back support, but ideally feet on the ground and on the edge of a chair and a sturdy surface so you can play around with that position of your hips, ribs, shoulders, head until it just feels like it's pretty easy to be in that position. So then the next step on top of that then is to use your core to do what it is supposed to do. So that alignment is important for 2 reasons. 1, natural alignment is where your body can rest well. It can recharge, just like plugging in your cell phone for a few bars of battery when the battery is getting low. Slipping into your natural alignment lets your body rest and recharge its energy when you're not moving. How handy would that be to get a little energy recharge in the middle of the day because you're not trying to be in a certain position? You're just allowing your body to rest so it can recharge your energy. So that's the first reason natural alignment is really handy to know. But the second reason is that's the most sturdy position for your own body. It's where your joints line up to be at their strongest position right now. So the job of your core is to support that position right between your rib cage and your hips. There's a space there in between your pelvis and your rib cage. Some pretty important stuff is happening in that space, right? You've got your spine and your spinal cord. You've got your organs, and all that important stuff needs a little protection. In your natural alignment, all that stuff is in its natural alignment too. It works best when you're in that natural alignment. But the core muscles are there wrapping around underneath the pelvis, crisscrossing, anchoring. All those muscles are there for the main purpose of stabilizing and keeping you in that position while you move your arms and legs. That's the job of the core. The core is not supposed to plank, sit up, do all those separate core workouts, because what happens when you do those is that your core thinks that it works by itself. When you start using these 3 principles of moving well, your core relearns how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to support you while you're moving your arms and legs. So this second step is setting up that muscle memory again. I find it's easiest to dial it up from the bottom of the pelvis because once you've got that nice relaxed feeling and your breath can move in and out with ease, you don't want to interrupt that by sucking in your stomach and pulling everything back out of alignment and creating a lot of tension. If you dial up that strength from the bottom of the pelvis, just engage your core muscles like a Kegel or like you're stopping the flow of urine. You're just pulling up from the bottom of the pelvis, those muscles, and you'll just feel this natural kind of engaging in these core muscles, and you can keep that soft breath. So kind of play with that, dialing up the strength just a little bit, like 10%. Don't go all the way to 100%, because then we kind of tend to tense up. So just to make sure that you keep that natural alignment, dial up the pelvic floor, kind of feel these muscles pulling in, just a little support, and feel that as support so that you can relax. You're not trying to make anything happen. You're just letting your body support you the way it's supposed to support you. So you can do that in sitting or standing. Alignment, dial up the core strength, 5 or 10% muscle contraction, just light enough that you can start to feel that support. If you go to this next step and you feel a little bit of tension in your back, go back down a level. Practice being in your alignment. It probably means your back needs a little more recovery time and rest time. And then start playing with maybe just a 2% muscle contraction. So build this in gradually below the level that increases any discomfort at all. Okay, so gradual progression so that you can stay relaxed as you're moving. So you dial up that strength just a little bit. Now you're supported in here. Check your breathing. Your breathing will tell if you've created tension or if that has really created tension, or if you're able to stay in your natural alignment. So check position 1 as you do position 2 before moving to movement number 3, which is just hinging. So you're in that natural alignment, you've dialed up that core strength, you've supported your structure in its strongest position, but you're still relaxed. Now, keep that support here and hinge through a shoulder. Just hinge your shoulder while you have that support here, soft breath, and you're just letting your arm have its own strength as you lift overhead. But this support here means that as your arm goes overhead, your back will stay in alignment rather than go out of alignment. Same thing with your legs too. We'll get to that. But just play with this arm movement. Practice this idea of moving the arms and the core, remembering that it's part of that movement too. Just moving your arms every which way very slowly so you can reconnect this muscle memory and get this sense that the core is part of all these movements. So you have that for the upper body. For the lower body, we're going to hip hinge. I find it's easier to do it in seated to start because we have a lot of misinformation about how to lift with our legs and all of that. That really is not based on these 3 principles of moving well, so often it tends to strain the knees and the back. Really, what we're supposed to do is hip hinge. So alignment, dial up a little core strength, feel that support, nice and relaxed, easy. Again, take time to practice this. Hinge here at the hips. So you're just folding in half. Let your eyes follow where your head goes rather than looking up, because if your neck flexes, then your back will too. So you're just hinging forward right at your hips. Nothing else is moving. And that is happening because you're supported here in your middle. Okay? So just play with that. Supported here. Now you can hinge. You can even imagine like a little skeleton or a mannequin hinging at the hips because it's supported here or secure here. So feel that. Now, your core is strong, your hips are strong. Your hips can unhinge and lift you up. You can put your hands on your legs, you can push off, you could even just start to lift up a little bit and come back down, but play with that idea of unhinging from your hips. Strong core, strong hips, unhinging, hinging to sit back down. Take your time with this. Notice how that feels. If it feels good, if it feels easy and you feel strong, you know you got this. If it still feels a little straining, go back to level 1 and then work your way up to the steps of this. It takes time to rebuild this muscle memory. In fact, it takes about 2 weeks to build muscle memory. So give this time and practice. Dial up the strength, hinge, you can push off. Think your core is strong, your hips are strong. Your hips are what's lifting you up. Sure, the legs are assisting, but the hips are where your strength comes from because your core is doing its work. Hinging back down. Hinging forward and back up. So this is how our body is meant to move. It's meant to move from a relaxed, aligned, strong center and then hinging through the arms and legs. And sure, you could move your center with that. That's why we have core muscles here so that we're flexible and strong in our center. But when you need to be strong and you really want to access your true inherent strength, start with these 3 steps: alignment, dial up the core from the bottom of the pelvis, and then hinge from your shoulders, your hips, and then your strength goes on out. But your strongest position is from your center, shoulders, and hips, and then on out. So give it a try. Let me know how it feels and enjoy moving well to be well right now.